for Culture Talk, and as mentioned, we joined in studio by Florencia as well as Tony from Wonder Woman Production. Now, Wonder Woman Production is a talk show platform where women interact with the host to share their stories, struggles, and triumphs. And this is all in the hope that those who get to watch the show learn from the guests' experiences and find inspiration to never give up. Currently airing on One Africa TV, Wonder Woman is a proudly Namibian production, and we have the host Florencia as well as Tony to give us more details on the show. Good afternoon to you, and thank you for joining us here at 99 FM.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here.
It's a pleasure to have you. Let's start off with, the idea for Wonder Woman. Where did the Wonder Woman concept come from? Where did it start? Where was the seed planted initially?
The secret is that we have realized that there are so many women in Namibia that are doing a wonderful work there, but the limelight is not on them. So we have decided we are going to give them a platform for them to share their stories, because most of people that have interesting stories, most of them are not known. So the platform is just basically to give a chance to those people to share their stories, and that most of women go through same experiences, if not all of them, and then they give how they overcome and how they manage to get through of what they have went through. That's basically.
And I think it's important to share those kind of stories, because again, it might be that I've experienced something similar than the next person, and them talking about it may allow me to also open up and share my story with the next person. Tony, can you tell us who the people are?
Okay, great. Before I talk about the people behind the production, I just wanted to add, Wonder Women organization is a broader organization which has several components, and one of the key pillars is to inspire young girls who are going through different challenges. And one of the aspects of the talk show was to bring young ladies and women who have gone through certain challenges. So as young ladies and young girls are listening out there, they're able to be inspired in one way or the other. Basically, behind the production is my crew, which is SOC Film Production. And basically, Frola gave us an idea. We said, no, this is a great one, so we can start from there. So our film production is basically behind the whole production thing.
Wow, the whole production. Okay, cool. What kind of stories are typically shared on each episode?
I should say raw stories. They are not edited stories. Everyone get a chance to share their own story out of their own experience, coming out of their own mouths. No one is telling their stories, and most of them are so great that they have this opportunity. And you will tell that those stories, they might look small, or they might sound like it's simple stories, but you have no idea the impact that they are having on others. Because there are people who feel like, why am I the only one who's going through that? Not knowing that
somebody else,
not the only one. Somebody else have gone through that, and they made it through. So the stories we share are raw, true stories that are coming out of the how do I call it?
From there,
from
the heart, I like that. And their own experiences. Why do you believe, Tony, it's so important, to share these type of stories? And how do you encourage women to be open on the show? I mean, everybody, not to say that we're ashamed to share our stories, but to actually go on a talk show and openly speak about my experiences for the whole world to hear can be nerve-wracking. So how do you, get these women to open up? And why do you think it's so important to share these stories?
I think by profession, she's a psychology, industrial psychology. But I would just say that it's very, very important for women to share their stories, because typically when you look at Africa, stereotyping of women, and in a wrong sense, for a century, women have been buried under the carpet. They never got to get out there and become the best of themselves. And these stories of few women that come on the show say, you know what, I broke off the shell. I am the best of me now. Some of them, they will tell you that they were rejected by their family, their friends, for being true self. And those are very, very powerful and important stories, especially in Africa, where we are still being bottled in a cultural sense. No, a woman should be seen and not be heard, and all those. So you find, and basically also women struggling in terms of job position. You know, we may be having the same job, but a man is being paid more than the woman.
Yeah.
Those kind of things.
Yes.
I know they're getting off because of our constitution, but we need more of that. And
I agree.
Also, these stories shows that one of the greatest leadership is in a woman. So they bring forth the resilience and persistence of leadership within the woman herself and how she has endured, whether be it business or her personality, to become that.
Yeah.
That takes leadership skill within yourself. So that is the best why these... that is why it's important, why these stories should be shared.
Yeah.
I think on the aspect
Florencia.
of how...
Yes, I think she can answer that question. Yeah. So how do you approach a woman and tell her, listen, we'd like to invite you to come talk about your experience, your story, to share that with other women. How do you go about making them comfortable to share their stories?
I make them know that their stories are not small. They shouldn't undermine their story.
Yeah.
And they should look at a greater picture. You sharing your story, you have no idea who you are touching. And you holding to your story, you are not making the universe justice, if you get my point. So I read somewhere where it says that you are not making the universe favor by holding on to your story. You are a human being. You are supposed to fit in, and you are supposed to tell your story that, listen, I'm also human. I've gone through this. And how I make them comfortable to share their story is that I listen. So that they know that their story is just not going into water on it. So I sit there and listen and make them know that your story matters. It might be different from everyone else, but it matters. And I'm giving you that platform to share it. Share it and do it for someone who's out there. Even if it is one person who wants to listen to your story and they get something, that matters a lot. And that is all I'm willing to give, a chance to everybody to share their story.
I think just to add to that, she provide a therapeutic space, and it's a safe space. Those are quite very important aspects. People feel safe even to reveal their deepest secrets because it's a safe space and it's therapeutic, meaning they get to be healed in the process. So I think as a psychologist, she has a way of navigating through those
and making
spaces.
them comfortable. Yes. Finally, before we let you go, Tony and Florencia, when does the show air on One Africa TV, and at what times do they air?
She can give details.
It airs every Saturday at 21 hours.
Okay, so that's 9 p.m.
Yes, and it repeats every Monday at 19 hours.
That's 7 p.m.
Yeah,
so every
that's 7
Saturday
p.m.
at 9 p.m. and every Monday it repeats at 7 p.m.
Exactly.
Perfect. The Wonder Woman talk show. I love the name, even Wonder Woman.
Thank you.
It's so beautiful. Florencia, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for doing what you're doing, allowing these safe spaces and platforms for women to share, because it is important as women for us to come together and share these stories, because like I said, you never know, there might be a young girl who's listening and might be going through something that you went through at that age and might need their advice right now. So thank you so much for creating this platform and joining us in studio as well.
Thank you. It was good to be here. It's actually the first time, but thank you so
Really,
much.
first time.
Yes,
So that's cool. And you handled it so well.
Really?
I have one last question for you, Florencia. If I'm a lady and I would like to be on the show, how do I go about that?
All right, we have an Instagram page, which is Wonder Women Namibia. I get a lot of the DMs there. So the women who want to share their stories. And the moment you go there, and when you watch our episodes every day, there's always contact details at the end.
At the bottom.
And if you just contact me, and then I'll obviously get back to you. I'm very fast. Get back to people. Yes.
I like that. Thank you so much once again, Florencia and Tony.
Thank you.
It's Tony and Florencia from the Wonder Woman production. The show airs every Saturday at 9 p.m. on One Africa TV and repeats every Monday at 7 p.m. That's our culture talk for this afternoon.